Jim McFarland Joliet shares some best way to social work. Jim McFarland Joliet said that prospective social workers should complete social work courses in social service, case management, and social work with a bachelor's degree. Social workers who meet these educational requirements should apply for a license before applying for a job in social work. Bachelor graduates can be trained as child, youth, and family social workers and certified case managers in social work. Persons with a master's degree can become clinical social workers or gerontologists certified by the School of Social Work Specialists. Students do not need to focus on social work to seize local opportunities. Courses, internships, and volunteering can help prepare future social workers. According to Jim McFarland Joliet, employment opportunities for social workers depend on an individual educational background. Requirements to become a licensed social worker vary from state to state, but all require a degree from a prestigious accredited university. In most states, the requirements are divided into bachelor's and diploma licenses. Once you have met the educational requirements described above, you must obtain a social worker license in your state to begin your career as a licensed social worker. There are licensing requirements to ensure that social workers meet specific requirements to qualify on the basis of core standards. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that while some states require clinical social workers to hold licenses, many issue licenses or certifications for non-clinical tasks. Jim McFarland Joliet describes students seeking more information about the licensing steps in their state can find details of licensing through jurisdiction, oversight, and training requirements at the Association of Social Workers committees. If you live in California or Texas, check out the Spotlight section on requirements for those states. How to become a social worker in California. Individuals living in California have the opportunity to become a clinical social worker or licensed clinical social worker. Prospective social workers spend 4 years obtaining a bachelor's degree in social work and 2 years obtaining a master's degree. Social workers wishing to work in a clinical environment must have 2 years of supervised work experience to obtain a license. In order to obtain a license as a social worker with A-levels, LBSW, one must obtain a bachelor's degree in social work and a license according to the requirements of the respective jurisdiction. To become a licensed Master of Social Workers, LMSW, you may need to obtain a master's degree in social work and a license in accordance with the requirements of your jurisdiction. In order to become a licensed clinical social worker, LCSW, you must have a master's degree in social work, complete specific clinical training courses and obtain a license based on local requirements. Jim McFarland Joliet said social workers, also known as clinical social workers, diagnose and treat people with mental, behavioral, and emotional problems. They help people cope with a range of issues including substance abuse, finances, and personal relationships. Social workers are deployed in a variety of areas, from schools to hospitals. This type of social worker focuses on helping individuals overcome difficult situations in their lives. The vast majority of social work practices work with individuals, small families, and groups to help people overcome problems of the past and strengthen themselves by using social services from government agencies and non-profit organizations. Many social workers lobby the government to change harmful laws, support government aid programs and create new non-profit and non-profit initiatives aimed at helping people through difficult times. This field of social work offers several fulfilling employment opportunities, whether you work with children in public schools, seniors in individual care facilities or in various areas of health care. Social workers help people to solve and deal with everyday problems and deal with a wide range of social problems through a wide range of generalist and advanced skills and techniques of social work. They also provide specialized care to help individual patients overcome particular challenges and obstacles in their lives. In many areas of work, there are other ways in which social workers contribute to society. At the macroeconomic level, social workers can initiate major organizational changes. Jim McFarland Joliet explains how to become a social worker, including steps to become a social worker and employment opportunities for social workers. Here are some of the most common steps you need to take to start your career as a social worker. BLS has identified 4 main areas of social work practice that are expected to grow significantly in the coming decades. Once the educational requirements are met, social workers can practice in schools, children's charities, psychiatric clinics, and other community organizations. Clinical social workers must, for example, have at least 2 years of clinical experience to obtain their social work license. Prospective social workers must also meet the training requirements to apply for a license and meet the requirements for practical experience. Health and medical social workers help people navigate the country's complicated healthcare system. They help patients understand and manage their diagnoses, help them transition from longer hospital stays to a normal life, find homes and support groups, and help patients with chronic disease and disability. Child and family social workers help clients cope with everyday problems. Mental health and substance abuse social workers. Mental health and substance abuse social workers help both clients and patients deal with mental illness and addiction. These licensed social workers focus on mental, emotional, and behavioral issues. These social workers help students, teachers, and their families deal with mental health problems and behavioral problems. They provide positive behavioral, academic and class guidance when the level of education changes and schools experience difficulties with pupils. Jim McFarland Joliet says the role of a care social worker is rarely what most people imagine when they think of social work. Care social workers work for children in foster care, ensure that they are well looked after and support them with resources and families.